Hi guys, join us this week as we take our awesome, super reliable W124 300 miles to the south of England to the absolutely stunning New Forest National Park. And why are we down there? To collect a rather interesting Land Rover with some quite interesting special features and a very interesting diesel engine. What are we bringing with us? Well, of course, you know about the sump issue from the previous video, so we've got body filler in case that needs a little attention. We've got a trolley jack, obviously to get to the sump. We've got engine oil for when the sump cracks. However, we've got a massive can of water, a massive can of transmission fluid, but for some strange reason we only packed a small can of oil, even though we know that that's probably the one that we need if the body filler fails. It won't fail. Remember the college tutor? He knew what he was saying. We've got a high-vis jacket. We've got another one inside. We've got ratchet straps. So this 124's already on its knees as it is. I had to bring the trailer from home this morning with the Ram. So I had to drive here in total comfort with the heated seat on, nice and quiet, comfortable, listening to some music, thinking the rest of this day maybe ain't going to be quite so fun. If you've towed like a trailer that's over a ton on the back of a 124 empty before, you'll know what I'm talking about. Right, let's have a look what's going on at the front end. So basically, obviously we only drove this a few days ago, but it wouldn't start this morning because the battery is obviously knackered. Again, not the best start, but have you already put your jump leads in?
I've got jump leads, but nothing to connect them to.
Great, okay, so, well, that's a good start anyway. But anyway, let's get this journey underway, do the tyre pressures and we're off. It's going to be a fun day.
Don't feeling any slower yet. Good start.
Maybe.
Oh.
There's going to be a lot of that.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah,
it's going to be a bumpy one.
That refinement that we were so used to, not so
Putting
much.
the extra weight in the boot does help. It stops the back end.
Right.
Should we trip the mileometer so we know how many miles we've done?
Yes, we should. It's going to be a long day.
What RPM should we be doing?
It's currently doing 3,400 RPM at 33 miles an hour.
If I open this, will it close again?
That's a good question.
It seems to be jamming.
Well, at least you got.
Oh, now it's going.
Oh, that was a metallic sound. Yeah, we're doing nearly 4,000 RPM.
You know why I'm doing that?
Yeah, you've locked it, haven't you?
I'm doing it to get the water pump spinning.
Yeah, so today it's not a warm day at all. It's probably, what, 15-ish degrees outside?
15. That's warm for England.
Yeah, pretty chilly day though overall, and yet we're absolutely boiling. And the reason for that is we've got the heaters on full, the fans on full,
yeah,
and we are just a smidge below 100 degrees, and we've done 3 miles exactly.
3 miles.
3 miles with a trailer.
Yeah.
100 degrees, like I say.
We've got 3 miles in comfort.
Yeah, you can probably tell by the camera shake, and I am really trying to hold it still. Genuinely, really trying. We've got a little bit of that stance boy bounce, haven't we? It's like we're on chopped springs on the bump stops.
But she's holding up so far.
Well, 3 bar of oil pressure at temperature as well. That's new.
Yeah, that's good. But we did check the oil, and there was a lot in it.
A little bit too much, if I'm honest, but I like to consider that just extra reserve, you know.
This bit of the door card that does that.
Yeah, it's kind of swapped today.
Swap, like wife swap.
Well, if I...
No, just the bottom bit, this bit.
There you go. It's quiet now.
Usually there's something in it that causes that. Like
No, it's empty.
No,
it's empty.
So, we're in tow mode. And by that, I mean, I've got it in second. I like to get those revs up. Get those RPMs right up there. Get that water pump spinning. There we go. And into third. Bang. Nice sharp shift.
Does sound nice.
The last thing you want to be doing is letting that bog right down and whoa, water pump's not spinning, engine's overheating, aluminium's melting, coolant is boiling. We don't want to put it under that kind of strain. This is a sophisticated vehicle with two sophisticated individuals.
We'll leave that there. Right, cruising along,
Yeah.
30 miles down, and something's just occurred to us.
This car keeps creeping me out because on the last video that we did, this bottom section said 666 on it just before we jumped it, and it cracked the sump, right? And I'm just driving along. Obviously, you know, my eyes just pinned on the temperature gauge as you do in a diesel Mercedes, and I noticed, oh, the mileometer's at 666 again.
Okay.
Really bad sign if it jumps.
It literally just jumped.
We can't surely make this whole video about the temperature gauge in this car.
We've got another car in which that temperature gauge might be fun as well. Off for the way back.
No, that's common rail, it's direct injection.
Yeah, but it's got a Land Rover cooling system, hasn't it?
I don't know. You saw the Tupperware box in the photo.
What? Do you even know what that's for?
No, should we tell the viewers that, like, let's take a bit of an opportunity here to explain what we're actually collecting. So we're picking up a Land Rover Discovery 1, a two-door, like, commercial version that's had a BMW M57 engine installed. Out of, I think, the lad that's selling it doesn't even know. It's out of a 5 Series BMW, maybe like a, what would you say, like a
530D
2 model, maybe?
Yeah, like an E39 probably.
E39, yeah, something like that. It's a common rail one anyway, but it's the earlier 530D because it has the smaller bell housing on the back as opposed to the later version. Why are we buying this? Well, because it was quite cheap. Like, it was, what was it, £3,600, which, like, you can't convert a car for £3,600. Like, that is really, really cheap. And the lad seemed like a nice guy, and I thought, you know what, I'm not even going to argue on the price. That is an absolute bargain. I'm just going to go down and get it. I think he had quite a few people asking about it because obviously a lot of people know that it's expensive to convert a car. But if you look at some of the photos, there's some really comical stuff. Like the engine bay. In the engine bay, you can see in one of the photos there's like a plastic food tub that's like cable tied to the wing, and I'm assuming the ECU's in that. I'm kind of hoping the ECU's in that.
This might explain the price.
He said, this is his words in the message, he said he's used it as a tow car, he's been up and down the country in it lots of times. So that obviously means it's more than capable of doing what we need it to do. Because I think the sensible thing is going to be to hook the trailer up to the Discovery and tow this back, rather than putting a 2.5 ton vehicle on a 1 ton trailer and absolutely destroying this car. I mean, we're overheating with an empty trailer, let's be honest. Shall I say something in argument to the car's cooling system? I don't think that this is normal. Like, yes, I always joke about old Mercedes diesels getting hot because it is a common thing and it is a kind of a joke amongst everyone. But they don't, if the cooling system's in good condition, they don't overheat like this. This is a particularly bad example. Remember this car, before we took it on this trip, we jumped it off a massive concrete block, smashed the sump, and literally like abused the hell out of it. And I'm kind of feeling bad for it now, seeing as we are actually getting some enjoyment out of it. I will add, I had no intention of actually destroying the car on that video. It was meant, I didn't even mean to smash the sump, but I don't know. The engine's getting replaced anyway. Everybody that knows me knows that this car, over the years, while I own it, is just going to get better and better. It'll just get a lot of money spent on it. Yes, it might do a few burnouts, but you can guarantee it'll end up with a new gearbox, a new engine, new this, new that. Everything it needs, it'll get. So don't worry too much about me destroying the car. Always let fellow motorists in whilst driving. It's the good thing to do. Not that guy.
Yeah, you can sod off.
If it's a BMW, don't let him in. But any other Audi, no probs.
Isn't the car you're buying got a BMW engine?
Here's one.
Yeah, have you noticed
Loads
those
of them.
two?
It's always the BMWs in it that
Cheeky
are trying to sneak it to the last minute.
Yeah.
I can't fault them. I say, if you're going to do it, lad. I won't stand in your way.
But you won't let them in either.
because I'm usually the person that's the one trying to squeeze in, so I always think, at the end of the day, what's going to happen? What's the plan? You know, when they won't let you in traffic, what's the plan? Squeeze him, and there's a wall coming in like this, and it's tapering down, and they're like this, not letting you in. They want you to die. They want that barrier, your car and his car, to just squeeze you into a pull for you to die. That's basically all it is. They've just got it in their head. No, I'm not letting him in. I want him dead. No, I'm not making eye contact. I am not making eye contact. Next video, what this is all about, this hold up. Here he is, look, main man. He was giving us the stare. So basically, it's a Muppet in a truck that somehow managed to break down in the fast lane. Trucks aren't even allowed in that lane. Right, we're like 100 official miles in. Like, I'm amazed. I've got so used to the temperature being 110. I just now assume that's normal. And did you know that if an engine runs hotter, it's more efficient? That's what we've been doing. We're saving the planet here. So we're pulling up in Leicester Forest East services after 100 miles. And we're going to get something to eat because I didn't have time to get breakfast, and I am what we would call Hank Marvin.
Got the Conor McGregor swagger. Feel 10 pounds lighter now.
Titanium shin bone. As time's going on, as we're using the car more, it seems to be overheating less. I don't really want to like curse anything, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but look at it. We're here, worked. The trailer's there, everything's still attached. I think it's time we just check a few things under there. Oh yes, that's why we could smell diesel. The injector return lines are leaking. Not bad though, just like enough. I think we're good to go, to be honest. I mean, should we check the coolant level? That's still hot, but there's no pressure in it, which is always a bad sign. Yeah, plenty in.
Is there any? Can we top it up anymore?
No, no need. You never want to overfill your expansion tank. You want it to be able to expand in there.
Hence the name.
So yeah, doesn't look like it's leaking anything anywhere. How's the old body filler on the sump doing, do we think? I worry now that I'm actually kneeling in someone's piss. A little bit damp. I think that's actually diesel that's running down from the injector return lines, that. That'll probably just like loosen that body filler. I think it's all good to go. I think we're worrying about nothing. We're literally panicking about doing a long journey in a car that was built to do long journeys. I don't think it really cares that we jumped it off a cliff and all the rest of it. I think in its grand scheme of things, it probably just thinks it's like a tiny speck in the ocean of how a car's abused during its life. Right, let's go. And there's not much diesel available.
157.9. And, if I'm not mistaken, it's V-Power only. Oh, that's going to be fun.
£1.61. You never know.
You might love it.
You might be able to drop that 0 to 60 time.
We're in the fast lane.
I've made a big mistake.
We're using the momentum.
Right,
so
momentum is the key.
Yeah. Oh my God! Bit of body roll.
Yes. I've done it.
Come on.
I've got him.
Ping the limiter.
I've got him. I'm on the limiter.
Come on.
My foot's
Wrap it
pushing down
round.
the floor. Yeah. 5.
Change up.
Bang. What's that smell?
Oh my God! Yeah, I think that's drains or something. I'm hoping that's not the car.
Not in the car.
No.
We had him though, didn't we?
Yeah, we had him. We did him. We showed him up.
No chance.
Yeah.
That is the radio mirror. It does sound great, doesn't it? I'm going to keep it in that second gear. Oh, round we go. No messing. I'm foot down now.
You sure?
Let's see if he comes past me. Can she get past me? She's trying, bless her love. She's trying. Got no chance. She's got no chance. Into third. Ah, no.
Oh.
No messing. Oh, I'm losing a bit of momentum now. I'm in third. She's coming past now. She's got nothing left. I'm fucked to bones.
I think both of you are. It's a lad. It's a lad.
Oh yeah, he's done me. Do you think he had any idea we were racing then?
No.
W124 technical information and sneaky little tips. So, did you know that the vents, the vent blades and the surrounds in a W124 are not plastic like pretty much every other car? These are all aluminium. These little blades, they're all aluminium. How nice is that? Proper high quality. Another nice little feature of a 124, down the sides of the seats here, between the actual seat and the centre console, you've got this like really cleverly made little kind of cushion. So as the average pipe smoker is lighting up his cigar and this slips out of his hand, instead of it falling down the side of the seat and setting fire to the vehicle, it just falls on there, and then he can simply pick it up. Oh, what a terrible accident! And then he puts it back in there and he carries on with his journey. So show him the seat thing.
Okay.
Show him the seat thing.
So any normal car, seat, headrest, up and down, you pull it, slide it, and then of course more modern Mercedes, well some of them, they're electric. This is kind of in the middle. So I was messing with the car earlier and found this wheel here does your backrest adjustment as you'd expect. But I noticed it had this little arrow on it. If you pull it out, then turn the dial, slowly but surely,
Oh my god.
oh, slowly but surely that headrest whirs its way up and down.
That is incredible.
What is quite strange as well is you can tell this car was designed for the left-hand drive market because the armrest is for me and not the driver. It's attached to my seat,
Yeah.
so it's for my use only.
There was some comments in the actual last video that we did saying that it's considered, like amongst German car manufacturers, it's considered a cheap thing to have the bonnet pulls all on one side of like left and right hand drive cars. It's considered to be like lazy and crappy. And people were saying in the comments they can't understand why 124s that were built in the supposed, perfection era of Mercedes had that defect, whereas the 210, which was Daimler Chrysler, where they got made cheaper supposedly, they actually got righted, and they had one on the right side for right hand drive and one on the left hand side for left hand drive. But to be honest, I prefer all the parts to be the same, as many bits to be the same as possible, and then it gives you a much broader market to buy second hand parts. So we're travelling through the town of Lyndhurst. You can hear that trailer rattling. Apologies to all the people in the area. And we're just going past the Ferrari dealership. We're quite near the New Forest. Look at that. Pretty much in the New Forest now. So you'll start to see donkeys and stuff like on either side, but we'll drive through the actual nice sections of the New Forest and we'll really show people how amazing England is, because a lot of the viewers are not from the UK. They're not gonna, they know about our quaint little island and the Queen and London and things, but they don't probably know about the amazing bits of wildlife and nature and stuff that we've got, and the New Forest really is a spectacle. Obviously there are other places in the UK, I'm not saying this is one of the best, Scotland's amazing, there's some amazing parts of Scotland, but as far as down south goes, New Forest. Look at that guy's plate.
Not me.
We've just gone past a Ferrari dealership. We're trying to show how prestigious and beautiful the UK is. In front we have a Renault Scenic that says Nobby on the back.
Oh, Nobby, oh.
Why doesn't it have a Leeds United sticker in back window?
Yeah, we in Cheltenham now or something. We ended up in the wrong area.
Cheltenham. No. Well, I'm happy to say we made it. Currently I'm stood in Lymington Marina, so it's only 2 minutes away from where we're actually picking the car up, and it happens to be a marina that I visit quite often anyway. And it's a beautiful part of the world. We've got the Solent just to our right, the Isle of Wight is there, and it's one of the nicest parts of the British waterways that you can actually use a boat on. And the car, to be honest, apart from it reading warm on the temperature gauge, has been absolutely flawless. It's got us here in relative comfort. Yes, it's been a bit warm because we've had the heaters on, but I can't fault it. I'm really pleased with it, and I think it looks really like sort of at home in a marina. I know that's like a bit cliche, maybe a bit boaty, because people do say E-classes are a bit boaty, but I need some yachting shoes, don't I? I need some yachting shoes to drive this thing. So we've done 280 miles, which most people watching this, 124 owners, will be laughing, going, well, and? Like, probably 280 miles is the daily commute in their 124s, but this thing's been stood for a long time. And remember, we did have to kind of body fill the sump because we did a little bit of naughty to it, didn't we? Putting it through its paces. But it's done good. I'm really pleased. Right, so now, very important, I need to get my wife a birthday present, and then we are going to drive through the New Forest and pick up the Land Rover. So Berthon Marina that we're passing now is next to Haven. Haven's the one that I usually stay at. Berthon used to manufacture a lot of boats for the lifeboats, as in the RNLI. And that now, I believe the RNLI have taken that all in-house, but Berthon themselves, they actually have an apprenticeship program where you can learn to be, I think they maybe take on like 10 apprentices a year or something they were speaking to me about, and then they train them to be, you know, boat builders, and it's quite impressive what they do. You know, they do a lot of the joinery and laminating and all the other kind of things, and it's impressive to see a company like that. I wish I'd have had somewhere like this when I was younger, because obviously I'm from Yorkshire, with 280 miles away. Yes, all in the town of Lymington. That thing's going to be rattling.
Now the noisy town of Lymington.
I know, right, we need to find somewhere to park. Right?
With a trailer.
I know, because that is the shop I want to go in.
Yeah, we've not really thought about this. That would have been a spot.
It's difficult though, isn't it? Because we're bloody...
New chimney. They're cool. Ferrari.
Right, so here we are at the New Forest. What an amazing place. It's literally hundreds of acres of just amazing protected wildlife, and scenery just for miles, just absolutely stunning. So the perfect place to bring a fine European vehicle. You can definitely picture a gentleman with his pipe smoking gear gliding along these roads and having an amazing time. So at least you get to see a little bit of what England's like. It's slowly starting to get dark now. It's starting to rain, but it's still really mild weather because obviously it's still in summer. But yeah, the 124's done us proud. I'm loving it, actually. You can literally glide down the roads here and you definitely get a nod from the odd, you know, multi-millionaire or whatever living in a house. You get a bit of a, because they've obviously had one 20, 30 years ago. Reminiscing. Right, I suppose we really need to go and get this Land Rover picked up. We can't just enjoy ourselves all day.
4 to 6 now, so...
Yeah, yeah.
We've got at least 4-hour drive back.
Yeah, at least. Right, let's do it. Come on, let's go.
That is literally like out of a horror film.
It must have been like an RAF base maybe, or something like that. It looks older than that though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Bit fruity.
Is there a silencer? No. Right, so we're loaded up and we're ready to go, and this is the Discovery with the BMW engine in, and the 124 is on the back. So I'm hoping we're going to have a slightly more speedy journey home. But, you know, the good thing is the 124 got here without breaking down. So at this stage right now, we do have two vehicles that run, which puts us in a pretty good position. Should we have a look? Should we have a look what's under here? Look at this, it's got a winch and everything. I didn't even notice that in the advert. Do I know how to open the bonnet of a Discovery? I do now. So this is, I've just been told, a BMW M57
E46.
from an E46 330D, an early one, so the smaller bell housing, 184 horsepower originally.
Yes, and then they said it's been mapped to maybe 260-ish.
Yeah, I drove it. Yeah, 200.
Yeah.
So we've got, there's probably the ECUs in this to keep it dry, I'm assuming, I suppose. And then there's a few other little bits and pieces that I'll probably tidy up. But it runs and it seems to drive pretty nice, and I'm pretty pleased. So, without further ado, I suppose, did you show everybody the amazing tower and the scenery?
I did indeed.
Did you do a commentary to it?
I did indeed.
You're a good egg, aren't you? So yeah, without further ado, do we need to go into depth with this conversion? We don't really, do we? It's got an intercooler. There's an intercooler.
I think we should get home first.
The intercooler pipe's rubbing on the... Yeah, we don't need to worry about that. Right, so we're away. It's been a long day, hasn't it? I don't know why I have this feeling of we've made it kind of thing when
50%.
when we've literally just got into an even less known vehicle than we were in before. But that guy really kindly checked all the fluids and everything for us. I don't know if I'm going to make that.
Yeah, you probably.
Are we going left or right?
It says straight, so I don't know. What do you think? I might guess left. Because it's like a curve that way. I'd say left. Find out.
Right.
What the fuck is that?
It's a bit steep coming off the...
It sounds like a little Cummins, doesn't it? We don't need a radio in here, do we?
It does sound quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, the guy's confident that he's been using it as a recovery vehicle for some time, so that's good. Yeah. I'm a bit tired, it's been a long day, and now I'm driving an unfamiliar vehicle. Yeah,
Oh no, you're going to wreck the paint.
yeah, I know. Watch your arm on them nettles.
Oh,
I'm just literally stuffing it in that bush, like, not even bothered.
I don't think I'd be doing that in mine.
What was that rattling noise?
I don't know.
Was that the trailer probably hitting something?
Well, he's driving close.
So, do we have a working interior light? Yes? Right, it's a weapon. As the darkness draws in, we're just leaving the New Forest. And wow, stunning, what a nice place. What an exciting road trip.
I see a tunnel.
A tunnel, oh, should I?
Yes, you
Hang on.
should.
Ready? It's all good fun. It's all good.
It's still good fun at 11:30 tonight.
Yeah, I know.
It might wear off pretty quick.
How many hours, what time is it now?
It is currently 7 o'clock, 7:05.
7:05.
Yes. The trip according to this is 4 hours 20 minutes.
4 hours 20.
Therefore the ETA 11:24.
I need some diesel as well. There's no diesel in it.
Okay.
How much do you think it's going to hold?
Are we rimming it?
Yeah, might as well. I think it needs the fuel pressure, like the head of fuel I think that'll like really help it. Because at the minute it seems to be like fuel starving. So as you're getting up towards the higher RPM, it's starting to like stutter and but to be fair, it's towing really, really well. So I can't complain about it in that respect. He said watch the temps because it gets warm, and to be fair, it hasn't really got warm. But I don't think you've known a car get warm until you've had a Mercedes. The suspension is rock solid. Like, I think that those tyres are solid. I don't think there's any giving them. There's a nail in this back one. I can literally see it from here, sticking out. Have a look. Would you be brave enough to pull that out?
No.
The screw. Would you be brave enough to pull that out?
No.
No, neither would I. And we don't have a spare.
That's great.
Because normally these vehicles do have a spare on the back, don't they? We've got a winch though.
Yeah, so we can pull ourselves out.
We've got a spare trailer wheel.
Yeah.
We'll put that on.
Oh, no, still patterns on. Can't change them.
How many miles? How many hours?
I would say we are, well, we're due to be back at this rate probably 11:45 at night. How many miles I'm not entirely sure, 250 plus. We had 286 was it to start, and we've done, I don't know, 10, 15.
Are you suggesting that I've got to do 250 miles in a Land Rover?
A very loud Land Rover.
A loud Land Rover with a BMW engine in it
Yeah,
that we've never driven before.
yeah.
That's S-Reg. How old is that? S-Reg is 98, is it?
6? No, 6.
Is it?
No, I
No.
might be wrong, I honestly don't know.
98, I think. ST.
I was just going to say, just for our American viewers as well, these are the kind of costs we have to pay in this country.
Yes.
That's pounds, of course, so make that even more in dollars.
£2, which is what in dollars?
Yes, somewhere in that, yeah.
For 77 litres.
Yeah. And what is that? £1.56 per litre as well, which is quite a lot.
Service stations
Yeah,
in the UK,
yeah, yeah. We're about 138 otherwise.
But generally our vehicles are economical because they're slow.
Maybe so. Maybe not this one though.
Maybe not this one.
Yeah,
Maybe not ones that we build.
that is true.
Right, let's go and play. So the limp mode issue is starting to do my head in. So we've pulled over to turn it on and off again and see if that helps. But look at this. I tried the high beam. It's got a light bar on the roof. Look how bright that is. That is amazing. Do you think the horn works? What the hell is that?
Police mode. What?
That's legal, yeah?
Well, it's a bit late if it's not.
As long as you just...
You imagine coming up behind someone, flashing your light bar with that horn
That is so funny. How loud is it if you open the window? Fuck me, that's loud. That is amazing. We were just talking about that earlier. This car's got a few tricks of its own.
It has indeed. Right, let's try the on and off.
Yeah, let's do it.
I might give it a few seconds as well.
It probably needs like the battery terminal taking off, doesn't it?
Should we do it? We may as well do it right. Yeah. I've got a torch.
It's very clear before setting off.
Checking your mirror might help.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself, Shane Mill. Should we see if the turning it on and off again worked?
Let's find out.
Wait for these cars, these trucks and these other cars. Don't worry, it's a big downhill strip.
To be fair, if we put our indicator on now, people might move over.
Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, we've got power back.
Past the bar, yeah, that's 2.
Yeah, that's good.
Right, let's not overdo it then, just now.
Not overcook it.
Otherwise it'll do it again.
Yeah. Okay.
Right,
That was the result.
that was an easy fix. Right, So sit rep, it's currently 10:30 at night. We're 150 miles away from York.
Yeah.
We were going to be back probably about midnight, but at this rate it's going to be at least 1 a.m.
It's out of limp mode.
It's out of limp mode. We pulled over, turned it off, restarted it, and then that soon went, so that's good. We've got some more power now.
Yeah.
We've had some slightly scary moments with tram lining on the road.
That tyre looks a bit low, doesn't it?
It does. It looks lower than the front one.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, we've been having some tram lining. It's a bit scary. The trailer can has a mind of its own and pulls, so we're just checking around now. Just had a KFC to wet the whistle.
There's a lot of something all over the back of it, some sort of fluid. I would say that's diesel.
Could it be soot?
No, it's wet. It's actually wet, like that's come out recently. Could it have been when I filled it with fuel? No.
I think it was like that for a while when we got it.
There's some wetness on the diff there.
Yeah.
That
looks long term though. But yeah, we've made it probably about 100 miles so far. We've got more than that. You know we're not halfway back yet, you do know that, right? Luke?
Yeah.
We're not halfway back yet.
It looks alright underneath. Like, as in, no wetness.
Yeah,
Them discs are brand new.
Hey, there's barely any rust as well.
Oh, I've had a good look at the chassis. The chassis is pretty good.
Yeah, it's genuinely nice. Right.
I suppose we better get back to it. Look, I told you it was metallic.
Once.
Look how scratched it is.
Metallic once. I don't think this car's been a shopping car, has it? No.
Well, no, I don't know what they were shopping for.
No. Right. Shall we? How are we going to do that? Right, okay. As if luck would have it.
Oi, oi! Show us your boy!
Lads on tour. Got the gun fingers. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Is that loud?
It's very loud. Come on, stand in front of it and I'll show you.
No, it's not so good.
Right.
Right, it's late. What time is it?
Very late.
1:10 in the morning, and we made it home. Right, guys, well, if you've stayed right to the end of this video, I'm really impressed. So why don't we have a little bit of a closer look in the light of day at what on earth I actually bought yesterday. So first of all, we're going to talk about the cost. So this thing cost me £3,650 sterling. What's in dollars? What's that currently? About $5,000, something like that. US dollars, something like that. And what did I get for my money? Some stuff. Some stuff. I got well, it's got rock sliders. They're pretty cool. I mean, they've got to be worth something. The tyres, BF Goodrich all-terrains, good quality tyres, and they're half decent all around. I've got a pretty interesting paint job. I think it's fair to say I didn't buy it for the paint. It's also quite fair to say that I perhaps didn't buy this car for the quality of the engine conversion. Now, I bought this cheap. I am not criticising a cheap, but let's see what you get for £3,650. So, as you might have guessed it, or you might not have guessed it, this vehicle has got the BMW M57 engine, which we'll have mentioned throughout the video. Now, where do you want me to start with this? Come at this angle and have a look at this. This is the bit that strikes you, obviously, first. As I mentioned when we first picked it up, the Tupperware box that is housing the ECU, I'm cool with that. I'm like, all right, I understand why you've done it. It's kind of held on. There's one cable tie around the whole box. But what got me, what tickled me, is the fact that look how the wires have been put through into the Tupperware box. They haven't even gone to the extent of using a hole saw. You know, these guys literally have hammered a hole. Oh, spider. These guys have hammered a hole in the side of the airbox with what looks like an ice pick, and then just stuffed the, sorry, did I say airbox? In the Tupperware box. It was a late night last night, wasn't it? I think we've brought all of the New Forest spiders back with us. So that's one thing which is pretty amazing. And obviously you shouldn't really have any wires chafing, but we kind of have, like, well, all the wires chafing. I don't know what this slot is doing. I think this is going to the heater matrix. It's hot and it feels tight, like there's pressure in it. That's concerning. This is a little concern here. Oh no, yeah, that's kind of been done. That's the fuel filter. Yeah, I don't know why it's at that angle, but okay, that's properly fastened on. I can't pull it off. Well, I might be able to pull it off. Now, the one that worried me a little bit is the radiator. Now, the radiator looks to me as if this has actually come out of the 3 Series BMW that this engine came out of. So it's just been like kind of cable tied to the front cross member. And if the bottom, the chassis cross member has been drastically cut short to obviously fit the height of this radiator in. You can see like how it's been cut really thin, rather than just having a radiator that fits this vehicle. When you're doing things cheap, yeah, I get it, you need to reuse parts, but that worries me a little bit. Now, you were telling me, Joel, that this header tank is prone for failure?
Yeah, they're kind of known for doing that. It's kind of one of them things on a BMW that even if it hasn't failed, you have to change it.
So what happens to it? Does it?
They blow up, pretty much. It's plastic, can't handle the, well, it can handle the pressure, but they age because it's plastic, it ages. You know, and then after a bit of time, it's basically a given that you have to replace it all. Whereas in this case, what they've done is taken it out of aging BMW and gone, let's put it in something else. Not buy new parts, let's just put it in something else.
They've taken it out of a very old BMW.
So it is sort of known as a ticking time bomb.
But they've used it anyway.
Yeah, they've used it anyway.
Okay, so we'll get, that's something that we'll have to sort. I'm impressed by this great big air filter, right? However, I am not impressed by the fact that that air filter is actually open to the heat of the engine bay. So this obviously should have been closed, and then it should have a pipe sucking cold air from the outside. This is obviously just robbing power and causing heat in the engine that's unnecessary. So the problem with this particular M57 engine, and I have worked on one of these in an E46 before, the airbox is part of the rocker cover. So you would have to chop that off. So I'm going to create some sort of solution for that. It looks to me like the original engine mounts, the chassis mounts, are still on the vehicle. So thankfully, this hasn't had the chassis mounts chopped off. So I'm really happy about that. But whoever's owned this, I mean, yes, the conversion is a little bit, like a lot sort of, what's the word? What's the right word for this conversion?
Homebrew?
Yeah, homemade.
Yeah.
But there's money been spent, you know, like there's bits and pieces all over it. The transfer case looks new. There's money being spent. So
It's not sure where.
at the end of the day, you can criticise anything. Like you could, but it works. It got us home last night, and there isn't much of an aftermarket. You know, what's the word? There's not. Yeah, there's not. Yeah, there's not much of an aftermarket availability for putting an M57 in with a load of nice parts. Like with the 606, we take it for granted that we make an airbox and we make this and we make that, and we've developed that over time. The M57, there isn't much. There's a lot of people that are doing this at home, doing it themselves, and they're cobbling bits together. So I'm going to make some nice parts for this, try and make it work all properly, try and stop it going into limp mode. and then, I don't know, if we like it, then maybe we'll sell some bits for it. But, I don't know. I like the power of it, that's one thing. The sound of it, it's not a 606, is it? Let's be honest. It doesn't sound bad. I'm not going to stand here and say it sounds bad, but it doesn't sound like a 606. But I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm biased. I'm biased. It's got a winch. And I like that. So, yes, cold light of day test. Send it. Right. Thanks for watching, guys. You'll probably see more of this in the future. So long.